when I, like, seriously, today, when I saw, like, 5 packages on my door, I'm like, this is no coincidence. Like, no fucking way. Like,
shit. I mean, you think about how Facebook is the fucking front end for like a bunch of people. That's the only way they use the internet. They don't do anything else. They go to these. This is my. I have a whole like. I have a whole rant against the modern internet, because traditionally on the internet you went to places that catered specifically to what you were trying to accomplish.
Right.
Or you had a community for everything.
Yeah.
So no matter what you were into, you went to a forum of enthusiasts, or you went to a place where experts or people who thought they were experts hung out. And now everything is like, you're on Facebook, you're on Reddit, you're on Instagram.
Right.
Like forums are dead, bulletin boards are dead, everything is dead. You've homogenized the internet, then you have one thing go wrong and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it ceases. No one knows what to do. They freeze.
I laughed so hard because, well, that was kind of like the meme is like, oh, hey, Twitter and Reddit, it's like still up and running. And it's like, I've been on here for fucking years and nothing's changed. And all of a sudden you got this influx of people and it's like, yeah, this is the most toxic environment you could ever experience. But like, yeah, like nobody wants to go outside their comfort zone. And I was listening to a podcast and one of the guys on the show was like, yeah, when Facebook went down, I was like, oh, what did I do back in the day? Oh, I went to 4chan. I got fucking scared. It's like, it hasn't really fucking changed.
4chan hasn't changed at all.
No.
It's probably tamer.
Oh, for sure.
It's probably tamer than it used to be.
For sure.
I don't think it's even half of what it used to be.
No. Absolutely not. Like,
you used to see people do the most horrendous shit because they thought it was funny. Like, I'm not saying it's good or bad, just like it just was there. Like, you're just exposed to everything. Like,
back when like for the lulz meant like,
yeah, like what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, here's a picture of a dead girl.
Do you remember like even like Oprah like would read statements that people concocted on 4chan on her show, like, we have over 9,000 penises and we're gonna rape your children or whatever. She fucking read it on TV. I'm like, oh my god, this is the dumbest shit ever.
And that was like peak, like,
right.
I mean, scary shit.
How many of those people are working military psyops now? They were groomed for it.
Yeah.
Just fucking around.
Or they got busted and they did like the old, like, he was the best hacker.
Right.
Like, we need you to work for us now. Or you're going to prison.
Hacker known as 4chan.
Yeah. Like, this Anon. Yeah. But was that Facebook thing?
So here's my take on it. I actually was talking to somebody about this even maybe 4 or 5 days before, because there were leaked documents online about Instagram, not about Facebook. And one of the ones was they had internal studies showing that like 30% of girls with eating disorders have worsening symptoms or become suicidal using Instagram. Like it's basically neurotoxic to teenage girls.
Yeah.
And that one is okay. That was kind of obvious, like whatever. But what leaked is they have an internal program called XCheck or something. And what XCheck is basically if you're verified or of a certain status, they don't handle reports against you or censor your content very well. It goes into a special queue where they look at like 0.1% of the complaints. So like there was like some international stuff. There was like a soccer player who supposedly raped or sexually harassed a chick and was like posting pictures of her on his fucking Instagram, and they weren't taking him down.
Yeah.
Even like, cause he's got his blue check and whatever. And so
the same kind of thing came out with like the Twitch leak too this week.
Right.
It's like certain status, depending on what partner you're dealing with or whatever, your status as a partner on Twitch, like there was I don't know if it was like a fully blown like do not ban this person because they make us too much money, or don't ban this person like written into the code because they get spam reported all the time. But it's like either way, like
yeah, some of that's innocent enough where those people get flagged like by bots,
right?
And so you have to actually manually review it because they're getting like targeted by cybercrime rings,
right? But some of those people are big enough to where, like, especially on like Facebook and Instagram, I think Twitch is probably a little bit better about, you know, policing their community. But like Facebook,
well,
fucking
so
trafficking bullshit and
I'll get into that because so specifically with this Instagram program it's a special program for already verified accounts who've gone through Instagram's verification. So I already have a whole thing where I feel like verification is like, this is who you should follow. This is what you should do.
Yeah.
Like they only really want you interacting with, like this is what they promote. When you sign up for a new Instagram account, all you see is celebrities with blue checks. You don't see like, it doesn't ask you what your interests are. It doesn't care. It just, do you want to follow Kendall Jenner? Like, no, I'd rather swallow a bullet, but this is, thank you for showing me that. Yeah. So that leaked. Then, and I don't know if that was related to these whistleblower documents or not. She supposedly made off with like 10,000 documents. Probably most are worthless, but whatever.
What the
Facebook whistleblower. So Facebook owns
the CIA.
Yeah. So
60-minute whistleblower.
I see this. And so here's this bitch on 60 Minutes with her real legal name.
Yeah.
And I instantly looked her up on LinkedIn just to check her history. I just want to make sure she had no overt military connections or like ties to synagogues or whatever. Right. So I just was checking like, where she was at. Like, and there wasn't anything like overt with that, but I actually watched the 60 Minutes interview, and it was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
None of it was about actual harassment, actual bullying, sex trafficking, stopping slavery. All they did was show fake right-wing propaganda images that they post, and they're calling it hate speech. And it was a call for her saying they don't let us censor enough. Yeah. Saying like her hand is tied to ban more people, ban more. Like the whole thing was about banning political wrongthink.
Giving the government more ability
to... it almost is like either the government or Facebook itself had that go out. So we have the power to stop more users from doing what we don't want them to do. It was like pure self-justification. So whatever that bitch's title was to like civil whatever. So she was the head. If you remember during the last election, if you shared stories about Hunter Biden, you got shadow banned or straight up banned, and the content got removed. She was in charge of that.
Oh.
Erasing political stories. I even hate bringing it back because I fucking hate Donald Trump. But if you posted like Donald Trump's kids drink piss and eat shit, they would probably promote your post. Right. But you post about Hunter Biden being a crack smoking, sex trafficking pile of dog shit. Yeah. Which is all fucking true.
1080p true.
Yeah, like dude knows how to party. Yeah. And you post that, you get fucking banned. Yeah. And she was in charge of that. Yeah. And now here she is on 60 Minutes telling you we need to ban more people. Right.
I mean, yeah.
It's just, to me, that was painfully obvious as like what a diversion. So then you get into the actual Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all Facebook products going down for an entire day the next day. Yeah. Not possible. I say this with 99.9% confidence that it's not possible, because this is what I do for a living. Now, they're blaming it on like a faulty DNS configuration. To make that, to simplify that, like domain name service, like when you go to facebook.com, you're not really going to facebook.com. You're going to their IP addresses that go to their data farms that then serve you up content, their server farms. Facebook is a multi-million, if they're not a billion-dollar company, are they? No, I don't think so. Yeah, they are. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Whatever they are, their valuation is huge. They have redundant data, like server farms.
Yeah.
They own huge swaths of land in Iowa that are nothing but data centers.
Yeah.
This isn't like a mom and pop store with one computer running their website that can handle 20 people or something.
Acres of facilities.
They own this, and they own these kind of things in multiple locations in the world.
Yeah.
Not even just in the United States. Also, for all of their separate applications to go down at the same time would require a total outage of all of their data centers. Facebook going down wouldn't... The services that host Facebook going down would not knock WhatsApp off.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. You would have to take all of Facebook's services offline.
Yeah.
Like their entire data center has to be cut from the internet.
Yeah.
This is there's no easy way, or there's not a way to do this. Even like if you fucked it up, it would be so hard to fuck this up at this level.
Right.
They would have redundancy in place. So if something went wrong, well, first off, they probably have a test net. So you do this test first before you put it in what's production. So you would test this configuration and go, oh, it works.
Yeah.
We do this, and we're not a multi-billion-dollar company. So if Facebook doesn't do this, if you're an investor in Facebook, you need to get out, because that shows you they're terrible.
Yeah.
But they do this. It had to be intentional. And you can go a couple ways with why they did it. One is this bitch is really a whistleblower. So they cut it off, and they're locking shit down. They're checking every account, what files they accessed, what they're doing, who has access to what, why is this accessible. They're locking down everything, reviewing all security. If you go the more conspiracy side, they're participating in PRISM or some kind of CIA or NSA program, which, how come nobody talks about the NSA anymore? I keep hearing CIA this, CIA that. The NSA is the one who watches you.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even... It's like the whole CIA thing is a psyop. It's a diversion that you forget about the NSA spying program. But that aside, there's essentially no way for this to have happened the way it did. This has never happened. This is completely unprecedented.
When I saw it, like, oh, Facebook's down, Instagram's down, like, nobody can do anything, and it was like more than like an hour, I was like, okay, this is bullshit. Nope. Because the only way you could fucking do that, like you said, I wrench on cars. I don't know shit. But I know, like, there are companies out there that they essentially diversify their portfolio as far as, like, where their information's at. Right. So, like, you would have to take out huge swaths of servers and, like you said, farms of information to... They
would have cut all of their data centers, all of them. Even they have redundant data centers.
Yeah.
So they have data centers that are for if the main one gets bombed or goes down in a tornado.
Right.
They have redundant data centers.
Right.
So a whole data center can get wiped off the map and you'd never notice.
Right.
Or it'll take you 2 seconds longer to load Facebook. You would never even know.
Exactly.
If you were doing like high level, if you were trace routing, you would see it's taking a different path and you'd be like, oh, why is that? I usually go through Northern Lights, so like a tier 1 internet provider or something. Like you would see that if you cared, But you would never notice as an end user when you just click my Facebook and
Right.
like you'd never know.
Right.
How did all of that go down?
Yeah.
And on top of that, if it was just a bad configuration and somebody did push it into production bad, you just roll back to the last config.
Right.
That outage should have been 30 minutes in the worst case tops.
Right.
Seeing this, even if you're not conspiracy minded, even if you don't believe it's intentional, even if you don't believe it's on purpose, if you are an investor in this company, this is supposed to be one of the most brilliant tech companies on the planet. And they had a 6-hour long outage with that many data centers. How could you ever rely on them for anything?
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Total garbage.
Yeah.
If I knocked my work off the internet for 6 hours, I would lose my job instantly.
Probably be involved in some sort of lawsuit.
And if not there being a lawsuit involved, there are the fact that this is a publicly traded company and there's no lawsuit over this data outage, you can argue that they don't, aside from advertisers paying them, there's not a lot in terms of like paying customers, but investors do have certain powers to sue over what they've been told. And I'm sure heavy investors have been told about the redundancy and the uptime and expectations during outages.
Right.
And there's no natural disaster. There's no earthquake to blame. There's no forest fire. There's nothing.
Yeah.
They have nothing to blame.
Yeah. The fact that somebody hacked it and no.
So I can tell you this with 99.999% certainty, it was an inside job.
Yeah.
It was done intentionally. And then as to why is speculation. But I would say even the closest you could get to a non-tinfoil hat thing is they were locking down everything, like
because whistleblower.
She made off with I think it was like 10,000 documents or something like that. So every fucking meeting note they took or whatever, who knows? Who cares?
Well, yeah, I guess this is tinfoil hat area, but Facebook working with the United States government in order to
so. There was this
control the flow of information, censor more.
In about 2007, there was a video that has since been taken off YouTube, and every iteration of it was like deleted from YouTube, and it was it used to get you banned on Facebook, and when I just remember it had a lot of blue backgrounds, and it was a female narrator talking about why you shouldn't use Facebook. And because a lot of the first round of seed funding came from ex-CIA and ex-NSA and ex-CIA employees. Like it broke down every chief, like every heavy investor, early angel investor. And like this guy was ex-director of fucking intelligence. And I was like, oh, okay. That's why you don't use it, because they love this. This is what they want to build. And
he was the usher at George Bush's wedding.
Right. Yeah. So that all going down was an inside job for some reason. And that's why I wouldn't trust these. I never did, but I mean, now especially, like, people's confidence has to be shaken, like, in using it. Like, even like WhatsApp. So many people use WhatsApp to communicate. It's encrypted and so it's safe, and it's Facebook, and it went down. You literally couldn't communicate.
I guarantee you, nobody is shaken by it. Nobody gives a shit.
I mean, most people don't care.
I live with one of them.
Yeah.
It does not. It's working again. Because I asked her the other day. I was like, "Oh, what'd you do all day?" No, shopped.
Yeah.
Texted you. And Facebook came back up, and I'm non-existent. Instagram came back. I was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna take these pictures and upload them." And it's like, no, like. People don't care as long as it keeps working, but they're going to just slowly plant the seeds of like,
so
we need more security, we need more government backing, we need help.
We need more legislation against.
Yeah,
this is where I'm thinking it's going. If 100%. Not legislation, it's going to just be more public support for banning people for minor offenses. Now, this is where we're going to get even more tinfoil hatty. Next day, fucking Twitch source code fucking leaks onto the internet.
Yeah.
What? Like, that doesn't happen. Twitch is not Twitch. It's Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
this just doesn't happen.
The
It has to be
largest.
this kind of data theft has to be done. Doesn't have to be done from the inside, but is likely done from the inside, because the amount of stuff they had access to would require an account that had high level access. They would have had to compromise like a head of IT operations account or something to get even remotely close to like.
The one thing I've done next to zero research on the Twitch thing, but like the one thing I heard was a lot of the information was older. So they thought about an employee that was just saving data or whatever. I don't know how
The pay stuff was up to last month.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that old and
but
really new.
A lot of the software and I'm talking way beyond my depth, but like the software and the encryption stuff, I think was older technology. I think some of it was even from like the Justin TV days.
It was supposed to be. I have
no
looked
idea.
at parts of it and may have not, which it could be, but I think well, what it is they took the entirety of the code from then till now.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
everything they've ever built.
Because I know there were speculations of being like a second drop. You know, this was like the first
And
part of it, but
could be.
They were going to release like more code and information. That's what some people, I think, even MSNBC.
I can tell you from looking at that code, they have a lot of programmers that are fucking dog shit, for starters.
Yeah, that's what
Holy shit. They must be, what are they fucking paying Indians on Fiverr to do the programming? Holy garbage shit. Are they hiring just like fucking like all the pink hairs with the fucking certificates don't actually go to college and shit for these? Wow. I don't even do full like on programming. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's really fucking like they're I don't know how to describe it in more of like an automotive like when I guess I don't even know if this is still practice. Like when you tighten you put on a wheel, right? And you don't just put the bolts on in a circle, you go across.
Right.
So this is like watching someone go into a circle and not torque them down, or torque them down each one individually before starting. You're watching them do the thing wrong.
Right.
Is it still gonna work? Probably. Are they gonna die? Probably not. But you can see the lack of experience and knowledge.
Right.
That's what it's like.
Gotcha.
Like it works. Obviously, you go to Twitch and it works. But
right. But
it's like, okay.
You can see when it fails. This is why it failed.
Like, you did this wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the best way I could explain that. So where we get tinfoil hattie with this leak, besides the timing, which is just amazingly convenient.
Yeah. Oh, the two biggest like online groups, Facebook and Amazon.
Yeah. Just going down.
Yeah.
Like it's like it could just be a flex of power too. It could be like the government, like you don't actually have.
And
power.
the fact that it got, sorry to say, but leaked on, from what I've seen, 4chan first.
Well, that's just the best place to leak. Is funny.
I guess for the lulz, but I mean, when like their post is like, oh, I've got all this Twitch information, who wants to pay for it?
Right.
And it's on 4chan first. Why wouldn't you go to
a lot of people were like, why didn't you sell this?
Yeah.
This would have been sold under any other circumstance.
Yeah.
A leak like this.
Yeah.
Because it had all the it had all the passwords and stream. I think the stream, I don't know if the stream keys leaked, but all the passwords leaked as hashes. So you'd have to crack them still. Like they don't.
Right.
Would still take time. But if you use Twitch, your password leaked. Just now someone with sufficient time can crack it. But so anyway, why it gets tinfoil hattie? The day before the leak, maybe 2 days before, but I think the day before, the official Twitch Twitter account was posting statements like we hear you about hate raids. We're doing our best to stop hate speech on the platform. So it's talking about hate speech and hate raids. Then they go down. When they come back, I just feel like it's, again, we're going right into the reach for instant like censorship. We need the ability to stop this because otherwise this bad thing will happen. And all justification for, my biggest fear with all of this is it's justification for clamping down on the internet.
Yeah.
The government wants the entire internet to work like an iPhone. They love that. They love that model. You have to go to an official app store. You can only get officially released apps. You can't put what you want. You can't do what you want. You will pay with what they tell you. You will use what they tell you.
Yep.
They want every single aspect controlled, and they want to wall off the internet. I don't think this is a secret. Like, they want this level of control. Everybody wants this. And I think a lot of people are looking at what China has done with their Great Firewall, and they want that.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't do what you want.
Yeah.
And there are ways around it if you're super technical, but how many people are? And even if you are, how much effort will you put into it? So, like, let's say someone who wasn't me had those Twitch documents with all the payouts. Because I got a Twitch channel that runs, like, I want to see if payouts listed in there. All of the people's names weren't in there by plain text. It was by a text, like an ID number that gets associated with every account.
Yeah.
And you have to use the Twitch API to like run against a username to get that number to then cross-reference it. Like, it's effort.
Yeah.
Like, you want to put that in? You can't just go in and search the name. Like,
it's not going to autocorrect for you.
No, and there was like fucking 200 CSV files. So like they're all 200 gig CSV files, and there's a whole bunch of them. Like, you would have to dig.
Yeah.
You could automate it, but we could get as high level nerdy into the leak as you want, but like, it's whoever did this did it very deliberately.
Yeah.
Because the finance part, of course, is what everybody cares about.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me. Because I just love seeing the fucking commie socialist dickbags making $200,000 a month. Everyone who donates, those people should be skinned alive. You should just be fucking skinned alive. You're fucking worthless. What a fucking, and it's not even for me being against the streamers being semi-hypocritical. Like, you're not hypocritical because you like Karl Marx and make money, but you are. But
yeah.
I mean, I do hate you, but like, not as bad as I hate the people giving you money.
Yeah.
Like I hate them more. Like,
well,
you were just an asshole on camera. Like, people had to give you money to enable this shit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they'll pay you $15 to hear you say poo poo caca on their automated voice messaging system or whatever. But like, even like back in the day, like,
people need to get more blame for their complacency. We always pass the blame onto everything but people. And it's people who enable evil. Okay,
we're going to go, I'm going to take this way, tinfoil hat, agenda 30, 31, or 32 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to own anything, and you're going to be happy.
Yeah,
you know?
Fuck that shit.
Like, back in the day, if there was an artist I liked, I would torrent their shit.
Right.
And then I would go out and buy their album.
Right.
You don't even have the option to buy the physical album anymore.
No, you can't.
So, I mean, these Twitch people and the people, like, they've been indoctrinated into, like, just like, oh, I enjoy this person. Here's $5. I'm going to type in 15 words. Hopefully you respond to me. If not, there's my $5. Like, what? Whoa, you're not getting anything.
You get nothing. You get nothing. You
get
a dopamine hit.
Yeah, a fleeting moment of enjoyment. And that's all they're banking on, is you just continuing to want that dopamine hit. Like, oh, what's the next automated recommended video? Like,
so
sure.
I could take that one into like 100 million directions because the internet has been the consequences of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
I've gone like I've gone in full agreement with that. Like, and I guess I'm someone who works on the inside of that, and I fucking hate technology, what it's become. It's this. So if you think about the argument people try to use against guns, and it's like guns, they're like, but they kill, and like, no, they don't. It's how you use it. It's the same thing with tech.
Yeah.
I don't hate computers. I hate human beings and what they've done with them.
Yeah.
turned them into fucking, everything has become a masturbatory exercise in just making you feel good continually or feel bad. Like it's all addicting continually over and over. You just, even today, I opened Instagram and I was scrolling through and then I realized like it had been like 10 minutes and I was just like I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I am consuming. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
This is mindless.
Yep.
It's not even, most of what I follow is meme bullshit and it's funny, but even then it was just like, oh my God, this is so retarded. What am I doing?
Yep.
I'm literally wasting life
Yep.
doing nothing, getting nothing, learning nothing. But there's like, it goes on forever. Like a lot of people don't understand slot machines.
Yeah.
They go, oh, slot machines are so stupid. Why do people do that? It's so dumb. And then they go on, they see the bright lights and the big noises and they're like, this is stupid. You have to be dumb to do that. And then they go on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like
Angry Birds.
TikTok and
Yeah.
like all it is noise and light. And they're like, they're even dumber because there's not even a chance anything good will happen to them.
The only thing you're getting is the dopamine.
You're just retarded. Like
there's no monetary value to what you're doing.
Nothing you have accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
And you are now dumber for having done what you have done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm sure it's pretty obvious to a lot of people, but maybe not the people that actually consume it. But I've got like a phone game I play. It's kind of like a brick breaker type of game, but on my phone, the iPhone, you have to swipe up twice to get it to go away, and the clock is not displayed when you're playing the game, just like in a casino.
Right.
You know, like
you never see the time.
Yeah, you'll never see the time. You go into a casino, it's pitch black, or there's no windows because they don't want you to know if it's day or night.
Or dark. They don't. They want to control the lighting, control the smell, control the sound.
Yep.
It's the same thing when you use these applications. They want to control your entire experience. They call it curation.
Yeah.
But it's really just showing you what you engage with and what it thinks you want to engage with.
Yeah.
Which is always going to be forever behind the curtain how it actually works.
Yeah.
And I mean that there's a whole personal side to what technology has done to people also. I have always thought about this dopamine rush actually prevents people from achieving their goals when they talk about them. Mm-hmm. We all know that action is better than talk. But before in history, you could not be rewarded for just talking.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to say, this is it, I'm finally going to put down the bottle, get my life together and lose weight. Okay, you could tell one or two people, but then after that, you got to do it. Otherwise, you got to walk around and do it. Who are you going to just tell 50 people one by one?
I'm going to start working out today, and you get 150 likes, and it's like, oh.
Right, you post it on Facebook. Those likes represents a person, and you know that.
Yeah.
So you've essentially gotten feedback from more people than you ever would have just talking without the internet.
Yeah.
And now that dopamine rush has been shown in studies to be as equivalent as actually performing the action and becoming successful at it.
Yep.
So what would take you 2 years or a lifetime of struggle, you've now got the same dopamine response just putting it in a Facebook status. And you no longer need to do it. Your body feels you've achieved it.
You haven't done any better.
Right. You've done nothing. That's pretty much it with that. Like just fucking dopamine and addiction. People don't even know they're addicted.
I honestly believe that was kind of Facebook's way of doing like an intervention.
Right. I really think it was like a way out for themselves. Like they're
I mean whether it was they had to have known. I mean, as big of a company as Facebook is, they have to know that somebody's going to come out with something. Chances are that whistleblower was a plant, in my opinion. I mean, how many whistleblower, like fucking Edward Snowden's stuck in Russia,
right?
You know, like they wouldn't give him a spot on 60. Joe Rogan almost got assassinated because he interviewed Edward Snowden.
I didn't even know about that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't watch that one. I don't know why.
But like,
I intentionally like never watched any interviews with Edward Snowden because I want to believe
like plausible deniability.
well one, and the other thing is I want to believe that he legitimately did what he did for a good reason, and I don't want to get even into it any deeper. I don't want to even, because the fact of the matter is he's still alive, which always makes me suspicious.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're alive,
yeah.
I'm actually more suspicious if you're alive.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. That's like the huge disconnect that my wife and I have. Like,
right.
Like I talk to her about like these conspiracy theories.
They'll make you commit unalive very quick.
Yeah.
Like,
but like I'll talk to her. She's like, "You don't really believe that," and I was like, "No, I don't." She's like, "Well, what do you believe?" I was like, "I don't fucking know."
Hold on, and
I was like,
music montage starts playing,
Yeah.
and it just starts flashing up all these esoteric images.
Yeah,
like
it's like
skull and bones.
it's like, oh, you talk to her about like, oh, well, back in like 1999, Alex Jones went to the Bohemian Club or whatever.
The Bohemian Grove.
Or, yeah, and she's like, "Oh my God, do you actually believe in this?" I was like, "No, I think Alex Jones was a plant to make people like me believe that he is the truth."
So
Like, so how fucking like.
So I always have a weird thing with that because I was always heavy into that shit.
Yeah.
So when I was young and impressionable, teachers always told you whatever you read in books are true. The internet isn't.
Right.
So I read a lot of books on the Bermuda Triangle, the Men in Black, the Mothman. I'm like, oh shit, it's all there. It's all real. And Bigfoot is probably an interdimensional being and all, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I ended up reading like Behold a Pale Horse. I don't even fucking know where I got it. And Bill Cooper predicted 9/11 on Hour of the Time, which was his shortwave like ham radio show.
Yeah.
And Alex Jones ran with it after Bill Cooper said it. He didn't say it first.
Yeah.
And then him and Bill Cooper they had beef. And I can fully admit Bill Cooper was probably a little unhinged. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of credence in, like, he said it first. And he also said Alex Jones is an FBI plant or whatever. And they didn't get along. And then right after 9/11, Bill Cooper is killed in a shootout with plainclothes officers shooting some kind of warrant that I think is still sealed to this day on his own property on his front step, where he supposedly shot second, too. So, it's Alex Jones is still breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bill Cooper is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and who was there was some other like alien dude, Area 51 guy.
Edgar Mitchell? Bob Lazar?
Bob Lazar.
I was deep in this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I question that too. Like,
I don't believe Bob Lazar at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I can't even believe he was on Joe Rogan. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This dude was called a fraud even by the most tinfoily hat people on the planet who literally believe reptiles live in caves.
Yeah.
They were calling this guy a fucking plant.
And the fact that he got a Netflix fucking document, and like, no, there's no fucking
That's all.
way.
This is all for Project Bluebeam or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all the setup for the aliens coming. Yeah.
I don't like.
I'm not down with that. There's that Area 51 shit like that because it's just. I don't know. It gets deeper where people believe, like, there's conspiracies about the conspiracies.
Yeah.
Where people believe that Bob Lazar really does believe what he's saying because there were other agents there showing him these things that were manufactured for him to see and go out and tell.
Right. Exactly.
So his stories are foolproof because he really did work there and he really did see things that he thought he was seeing.
Exactly.
Because they wanted this to come out. Like,
exactly.
It gets deep.
Well, and then people will be like, well, how far ahead do you think that these people in power can, like...
Hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years. Just look at the 2010 Rockefeller Foundation document on pandemic planning and digital surveillance.
Yeah.
We're
Like-
in it right now. 10 years later,
Yeah.
they hit the mark.
I-
how did these rich assholes do it?
Yeah.
How did they do it exactly? Like,
But then people will be like, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." That like, there's no fucking way. Like, how could all these people keep it a secret? It's like they don't have to keep.
it's not even a secret. It's a public document. You
Yeah.
go to the RockefellerFoundation.org
Right.
and you pull up their annual report,
Right.
and pull up the one from 2010,
Yeah.
and you just have to read through the flowery language, like, we're preventing pandemics in Laos by using these strategies, and we'll use digital tools and apps to help stop the spread. Like, we're talking about rushing vaccines and vaccine passports.
Yeah.
Like, it is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
However you want to, like, it's like saying we are putting security appliances all over intersections at every corner of the streets in every city of America to keep you safe, and it's a camera to surveil you. Like,
Right. Exactly.
It's
the
24/7 eye. Like,
it's the is formation of wording.
Right.
The Clinton.
yeah. What is the definition of is?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Like they just, like you said, they flower it up and make it look pretty in order for you to be like, no, they have our best interests. They
Right.
want to.
everything is presented to you as a convenience or security.
Yeah.
It's they don't come to you and go, hey, we're gonna watch you 24/7.
Yeah. No. It's for your safety.
Right.
No. Just we'll sell you this doorbell. It'll keep an eye on your front porch and listen to everything that
I will never own a Ring doorbell.
No.
Holy shit. I will own Chinese spyware applications before I fucking own.
Yeah.
Even my security camera now I have filtered.
Yeah.
Like, so it can't access, it's segmented off my home network because it's networked. Like, yeah, I don't even allow it access.
I was talking to my uncle. He was moving into his new house, and they were running wires for security cameras and stuff. I was like, oh, so you got it on closed circuit? He's like, yeah, but it'll be hooked up to my phone, so, I can access it or whatever. I'm like, so it's not closed circuit.
It's open.
It's like somebody could drive by and pick up. I showed my wife when my daughter was born, she wanted to get one of those, like, nanny cam things.
And you watch all the people, like,
Yeah.
go start playing horrible shit through them. Just to
Yeah.
fucking trick. Yeah.
I was like, you want, like, a free radio frequencies that people can access. Like,
So there's like you can make those reasonably secure. You
I'm-
could if you do enough networking, but they are static pieces of hardware that generally don't update. Eventually they will be hackable or crackable. There's almost no there are ways, but to make it very, 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 very difficult. But yeah, I mean, the average person plugs it in and it works.
yeah,
And they're like, oh, I want these light bulbs that hook up to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Yeah.
for?
yeah,
It's going to look at... You don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you know they could put cameras and microphones and all of that shit and
Yeah.
you'd never even know?
yeah.
You'd never even know.
Oh, think of the energy savings with all these EG light bulbs that you can plug right in. Give me an incandescent bulb. Fuck you. I don't care
Right.
about the environment.
You have to be... I don't know what happened and when it happened, because there's a big meme that used to go around, like, our parents used to tell us to not talk to strangers on the internet.
Yeah.
Now there's an app where we get in a stranger's car.
Yeah.
You know what I...
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I get it, but, like, at the same time, there is something to be said for, like, they threw all of it out. Like, there's all of a sudden, we went from, like, don't ever put your real name on the internet to type your social security number in this application.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, something is wrong. And I don't know. I can't even pinpoint where that changed. Right.
There was a crazy Twitter thread going on talking about somebody said something about, like, inflation and the Federal Reserve and going back to the gold standard, and then there was, like, an article talking about why the gold standard doesn't work, and it was all based on
From federalreserve.gov or what?
well it was from basically vox.com.
Gross.
Yeah, but it was basically like here's why the gold standard doesn't work anymore.
Here's why the gold standard doesn't work and why you should let your wife sleep with other men.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. But it's like the whole like presumption was that the gold standard was regulated by the government. And it's like, fuck you and the government. Like,
Right.
like release the gold. Like, it wouldn't be an issue if the gold, like this whole like central power thing that
People
like,
bought into the dollar because it was backed by gold.
Right.
The United States didn't have any power at that point.
Right. But it's just a fucking toilet swirl down to the very like.
Well, I have this whole thing right now about people who mock cryptocurrency because they're like, well, it's worthless, it's dumb. And I'm like, what is a dollar? It's backed by the government. And backed by what? What do you get for it?
Other than
you get
war and oil, like.
And when it's worthless in 2 years from inflation, you're like,
yeah,
it's nothing. It literally is nothing.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. It represents not. They'll print it trillions of dollars to demand when they need it. So it's not even a share of wealth of the country. It's nothing.
What'd they say? Fucking 10 years from now, we're like 45 trillion?
Yeah,
we're fucked. Like that?
We're like, well, it's never gonna reverse.
No, absolutely not.
They're like basing it off of what Japan has done, where they've just run like debt fucking wild and they don't care and it seems to work out.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh fuck it, we're gonna do that. It's called like modern monetary theory. I've read enough to like get that base level grasp, but finance always. High level math, like with finance and stuff, drives me nuts. I don't understand it because it's like I get it, but also I know enough to know that it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, the way they like divide things and like
it's not backed by goods. It's not backed by anything physical. It's not backed by any promise from the government.
It's all speculation.
If money becomes worthless, they're not going to come reimburse me with goods worth of what I used to have.
Right.
I get nothing for it. I just end up with nothing. I can't eat it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it is.
It's fucking
garbage.
I've said it for a long time, and I'm thankful I had kind of the foresight in high school to be like, oh, college, from what I understand, go there, spend a bunch of money, learn something, get a job out in the workforce, make a bunch of money, pay off all that shit, and you can live life well. But what skills do you really have?
None. There's so many people who are
like, I'm a dumb shit, but I understand like really basic engineering things. Like, I can make something structurally sound. I can make something move. I can make something stable.
Right.
With super basic knowledge of the way materials work. I know how to like secure things. Like,
well, the fact that we admit we don't know things puts us in front of a lot of people. So I interview people. I run a team, small. And I've interviewed someone with 2 degrees before. They were the dumbest fucking person I have ever met.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. I meet people with master's degrees regularly who are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
They can't do anything. They can't show up on time to an interview, let alone figure anything out. They've spent their whole life in school. They have no skills. It's not to say somebody who didn't go to college is better, but it's just that there's something wrong with American. I believe American college was infiltrated and destroyed intentionally to keep Americans dumb and complacent.
Fuck yeah.
Because they don't want you learning. I don't want to say there's worthless degrees, right? Like, there are values. I know it's like a big like, right, like, oh, what are you gonna do with a women's studies degree? I think there is value in high level thought about things in terms of like theory, and like I think that's fine, but you have to be realistic about why you're going for those degrees. And if you're going for that degree and you understand that your only role in society would be to teach what you've learned,
Yeah.
and there's not much else you do with that,
Yeah.
then that's fine. But if you go into it with the expectation, like, I have to make this much money because I have a master's degree, but it's in something that doesn't produce,
I mean,
and it's in something that doesn't create,
that's
doesn't contribute.
that's essentially the basis for every religion.
Right.
Like, like, oh, there's this one preacher that knows everything. I mean, and not to say that the plebs can't, gain knowledge or insight from what that person is teaching them, but when you base everything on essentially bullshit and don't
Right.
balance it with like
Real world experience, practical experience.
practical knowledge, practical experience, like it's you're essentially useless.
One of the best classes I ever took in college that I use to this day, I took a Unix class who was taught by an actual server engineer from Citibank. So he was a part-time instructor who worked for Citibank and taught Unix in his spare time. And I learned actual shit that got me jobs from a guy who had a job and taught it very well. That's one of the only things I learned. I work with doctors.
Yeah.
I work with doctors. You should see the emails they write. Morons.
Yeah.
They're no proper punctuation, capitalization. Nobody gives a shit. They don't give a shit. In the real world, no one gives a flying fuck about it unless you're writing a book. And even then, a lot of authors don't give a shit about that. They're like,
oh, yeah. That's one thing. Okay. Small tangent. Very small tangent. I went to automotive school because I'm next to illiterate. I can't read very well. I can't write very well. My sentence structure, whatever, is dog shit. But when I get texts from seemingly smart people,
illegible.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I know where to use commas. I know where to use semicolon. Like,
right.
I don't
Yeah,
this technology is just ruining.
Well,
my understanding of language. It may evolve. It may surpass me. I mean that
right. Language evolves, and if other people communicate, fine. But it's, I don't really care about those like "okay, thanks, bye" text, whatever. You can be dumb, but like,
yeah,
it's even when I was young, when we typed on like AOL Instant Messenger, a lot of us used full sentences.
Yeah,
back then.
Yeah,
and nobody communicates in like full sentences anymore.
No, I hate it.
It's not a problem until you get into the real world.
Yeah,
when you're not when you're at work and you're not texting me, you're not on Instagram, and you try speaking like that, and it's like you sound ignorant, like you don't know anything.
My manager is making, or my boss, he probably makes $100,000 more than me a year, and I'll text him with like a real question, and he'll hit me back with an emoji.
Fucking eggplant.
Yeah, it's like, are you like? Okay, fine. Like, this is a professional question, and I got a smiley with sunglasses back. Like, what the?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't want to.
It's so fucking irritating.
Whatever.
And not trying to sound like a fucking super conservative fucking boomer guy, but
yeah, it's. I mean, it's like, cause I'm not against like shorthand speak. I mean, like,
no,
casually. I'm talking like specifically in the work environment.
Yeah,
you have to communicate things especially when I'm dealing with things that affect an entire population of people. Like, without getting too specific, like if something what I do fucks up, a lot of people hurt.
Yeah,
and so that can't happen. And so you have to communicate. You have to communicate things very clearly. for example, one time where someone didn't communicate something to me clear enough and I followed their instructions to a T, I knocked a phone system offline. So, and by the way, it only took 20 seconds for the backup server to kick in and fix it. So that's why I know Facebook was an inside job.
Yeah.
But anyway, like just saying, like,
Yeah. Like,
if you don't communicate clearly, big things happen that fuck things up for everyone.
it's the complacency thing. Like, oh, I can talk casually like this with coworkers, like whatever, and then when I have to talk to somebody higher up or actually communicate something, that casual speak bleeds into like proper speech,
Right.
and then things get muddied up and don't get translated correctly or conveyed correctly.
Right.
And it blows my mind that everybody's okay with it.
Right.
Like, I don't.
Yeah. Just how it. What can you do? I don't know. But just like I feel like this is wanted. Like this is what they, in giant quotation marks, want.
Yeah.
Like this is what they want. They want you incapable of nuance, not able to actually think about an issue, only to communicate in small shorthand quips and phrases, not able to process your own emotions.
It's almost like horseshoe theory. Like, think about like the most primitive form of communication.
You've gone back to it almost
We're-
like,
we're,
okay,
like,
rocks.
cave drawings, like,
Right.
oh, there's a cow and there's a human and that human has a pointy thing. Well, we've developed language and it's looped all the way around back to an emoji of a cow and a fork and a knife. Like,
Right. We've actually gone almost full circle.
yeah,
We're just a little more advanced in how we send it through electrons.
right,
Our cave drawings through electrons.
right.
now.
And who's to say that those guys aren't using rocks to draw emojis from the generation before that
Right.
got destroyed
What if it's
by
just cave paintings are just fucking trolling? Like,
it's like we get all this way and we get all the way to emojis and we get to the point where the only way we can speak is through emojis, and then the alien race comes down, destroys us, and what's left over, all they remember is smiley hard eyes, eggplant, shit emoji, and that's how they draw it on the wall. And then 10,000 years from now, the civilization or after us finds these cave drawings of a shit emoji, and it's like, what does this mean?
right.
This was their god.
What did they worship this?
Yeah. You know, like,
be
who
their
knows?
false
Maybe
idol.
it could be all completely
So-
circular like that.
I've gone full ignorant because
Oh.
of all of this. I refuse to read the news or watch the news now.
Yep.
I don't read any news. All I do is I wake up every day. Every time I have a dream, I wake up and log my dream, and that's what guides my life now. I have gone full Jungian. Like I only interpret the symbolism of my dreams, and then
Yeah.
that's how I live. I don't read the news. I just like I wake up every day and I keep a dream log, and
I feel like I've kind of been doing the same thing recently, not writing things down because I'm illiterate, but like, I've had a lot of weird dreams lately that have kind of shaped my day. It's like, oh yeah, I thought about this, or I dreamt about this, and now I'm kind of doing it. Not exactly, it's not like a 1-to-1, but it's like, oh, there's like a weird correlation here, and it's making sense. And it's like, oh, I'll just keep doing this.
So I will admit I have started keeping a dream log because I was going to start talking about it every week on the podcast, like my dreams for
Yeah.
the week. I was like, this is what I dreamed this week.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring it up like the last 2 weeks, so I have like a whole bunch. So I'm just going to like go through a couple of them because I'm going to get committed for even saying these out loud. Actually,
Let's do it.
some of them I probably won't say yet, but some of them I will. Like it starts like I had a simple one where I was just like I was working outside and I had a desktop computer And I'm like, oh, it's cold out. I'm just gonna rip this bitch off and overclock it. Natural cooling. And then it fucking started raining right into my lap, into my desktop. I was like, shit. So there's definitely something there.
Yeah.
But so I had one where this one was fucking wild. There was some form of violence outside, and an angel rushed by me. Just like, just fast as fuck. An angel flew by me. He turned around and said something, and I couldn't comprehend even what he was fucking saying to me. He, she, whatever it was. And I don't know if it was like kind of like half Sumerian, basically. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I heard its voice in English in my head. And it just said, what did it say? It said, angels and demons are locked in a constant struggle for humans' dreams, because that's how they power in the other world. And they literally said other world to me. I don't know what that means, but that was what was said in my dream. And I woke up like, I wrote that shit down instantly. I'm like, no fucking way. It was wild.
That's pretty heavy. That makes sense.
So, and I had another dream where I had seen my brother for a week in my dream, and he was leaving, and I was kind of bummed out. And then I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll get in the plane too. And I got in the plane. Everything is normal, right? We go in the plane, and you see the little screen, and then on that screen, it shows the flight log over the Earth. It was fucking Pangea. All continents were one together. I'm like, holy shit. I woke up and freaked out. I'm like, I saw Pangea in my dream. What the fuck?
On a 747.
Yeah. We just flew across the whole Earth in 45 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? It's all ocean except this. Like, it was just one giant chunk of land. And it was...
That's wild.
I didn't watch anything. This wasn't influenced by anything. Like, that was just my dream.
Right.
Like, I saw on the screen all landmass was combined into one. And it was like all... I could still kind of see the shapes, and I knew it was... I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I guess so. No,
yeah.
It's fucking Pangea.
That's fucking awesome.
I had a dream. I don't know what this one means. I had a light up sex toy, like a fucking fleshlight or something that was going off like a strobe light on top of the toilet while someone was talking to me next to me. And I'm like, I didn't want to get caught, and I was like trying to cover it up. I'm like, okay. Another one, I was watching, like live watching with somebody else, like almost like it was a VR scenario of a CIA snatch and grab in South America. And one of the operatives was eating something, and I started arguing with the person next to me if it was better to carry a banana or a protein bar on an operation like this. That was the legit dream. It was hilarious, actually. And then they captured all these rebels or something, whatever they were, and they got on a plane with them. And the CIA operatives got on a separate plane, little Cessnas. First plane crashes. It comes over the radio. The prisoners got free and slit the throat of the pilot, and it was a female pilot. And then the plane crashed. And then the plane full of operatives crashed.
Oh, that's why it crashed.
Well, then they all died.
Yeah.
So both planes crashed. So don't know where that dream came from, but...
misogyny.
Yeah, well, maybe. I made a parody of TLC's Red Light Special, and I called it Blue Light Special. And then even in my dream, I axed it because I'm like, no one knows what Kmart is anymore. I'm not shitting you. These were dreams. I didn't make this shit up. My brain fucking made this up from whatever. I was recording a parody R&B track called Blue Light Special.
It was... At my old job, there was a Kmart next to us. And I worked there for 4 or 5 years. And this is on Kmart's downslope. There was one time they actually had the blue light up. I was like, holy shit, I've never seen that before. And I don't think anybody will ever experience this again.
Yeah, probably not.
Fucking gone. And that was The last time I ever saw it was probably 6 years ago.
I always
7
wanted to
years ago.
steal one of those, like when they're on the white poles with the blue
Yeah,
lights. I wanted
yeah.
to fucking steal one so bad. I always want to just snatch that and run. One more dream that I think may have some symbolism personally for me, or maybe not. So I was going for a run in what looked like an average U.S. suburban neighborhood. Early morning, a little bit of fog, and I got arrested by Chinese police officers. And they pinned me to the ground, and so I could speak a little bit, so I could speak with them, and they thought I was somebody else. And I'm like, you think all white people look the same? So I put together in my dream I was in China, even though it didn't look like China, but it could be maybe more like what's actually happening globally.
Yeah.
Like I'm being oppressed by a force that's not from here.
Yeah.
But that, I just thought that was an actual interest. That was a real dream I had. So those were the dreams I'll talk about. There was even weirder ones, but like,
have you looked into? Okay, I know they talk about like World War III going on with like China between the U.S. Have you ever looked into like why that could be a possibility?
I have, and I don't. The way I think about that personally is it would take actual military aggression from another country for that to actually happen.
Right.
There's the prospect of a ground war in Asia is, I mean, you saw it happen in Vietnam. Unless you're going to nuke the fuck out of China, like there's nothing you can do. Like there's no benefit for either side to actually taking over the landmass anymore. No one needs to conquer for territory. You just own the governments with money.
There's a huge parallel between why we could possibly get into a world war with China and why we got into a world war with Japan.
Like a false flag for...
No, well, so the big reason we got into the big reason we got into a war with Japan in World War II was because of oil.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes. So the United States, because we were like...
You mean it wasn't Pearl Harbor?
That's why Japan attacked us, is because...
We were blockading them?
We were blockading them
Right.
from oil.
I did know that. I
Yeah.
did know we were running blockades.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people don't know that we were intentionally goading them into attacking us pre-Pearl Harbor.
Yes.
We weren't involved in the war effort, but we were. And it wasn't a secret they were going to attack us back for blockading them.
Right. And we wouldn't have... Well, this is somewhat of the official story. We wouldn't have blockaded them if they were to, like, play nice with us and not, like, deal with, was it Russia? I can't remember who they were allied with, or
they were allied with. They didn't like Russia. That's for sure. They had wars in between them and Russia over the fucking Ural Peninsula or whatever the fuck that thing is, or whatever. But they were allied with Germany and Germany, Italy, and some Axis. But they had other allies.
Yeah,
I don't really know where,
but those, like, Germany and Italy weren't like, they're like, in the history books it always seems like Germany, Italy, Japan, like,
right,
those are, but Japan wasn't so closely tied to those guys, but
no.
We were blockading them from getting oil from them, like, producing what they need to produce or whatever, and that's why they attacked us, to provoke us to get into the war with Germany and Italy and the whole World War II thing. But we're kind of in the same situation with China as far as Taiwan goes.
Yeah, could be. Because
of all the chip manufacturers in Taiwan.
Right.
So the U.S., there's like...
Fucking AMD, bro.
Yeah. Like, there's like I forget if it's like 9
I
or
think Asus is from there.
13
Maybe even Acer.
chip manufacturers in Taiwan, and we own like.
Realtek.
So there's either 11 or 13 chip manufacturers or something like that, and the U.S. owns 9 of the 11 or 11 of the 13.
We own 9 of 11.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So, and China being like the big powerhouse they're trying to be, they're having to go through the U.S. to get their chips. So, and we're kind of basically blockading
They can
them.
manufacture their own, but what a lot of people don't understand is computer chip manufacturing is not just like build it. It's a very, there are very strict tolerances to how you build. Like, I don't know how to describe it very well, but you can't just whip together computer chips that actually function at high levels with reliability.
Yeah.
That's very, very complicated.
And I know
precision manufacturing. You can't get away with the standard level of Chinese workmanship.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the same issue that the U.S. is having, because from what I understand, that they're trying to, bring that back to the U.S. And it's not even a
Fucking
matter
Texas
of
Instruments, baby.
Yeah. It's not even a matter of like, it's cheaper labor over there. It's just a matter of like, we've developed these
you
facilities.
just put all your infrastructure there.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
You can't just move it.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the whole, like, when people talk about like World War III with China, it's like they have no idea that like, oh, it's over technology.
Well,
it's
okay. You're seeing right now, if you can't get anything.
Yeah.
New cars.
Yeah.
Computers, a 6-month turnaround on everything.
Yeah.
There's ships docked in LA right now that haven't been fucking unloaded in over 4 months.
I got weapon sights sitting on a ship I've been waiting for like 6 weeks.
So it sounds like prime time to raid that place if you're looking for supplies.
Yeah.
But all China has to do is not send that shit. The only catch-22 with that is we pay them a lot of money. They lose money.
Yeah. Well,
their power comes directly from money. So.
Well, and the other crazy part too is we send so many not raw materials but recycled materials. Like, it's insane the amount of like steel we send over there, and like
they take all that metal and all of that.
And
because over here we're like, oh, we can't do anything with these, too expensive, and over there they just make slaves rip the gold out of the fucking electronics with their fingers till they die of cancer at 17, and then they just bring a fucking new one. They really do that.
Yeah.
I think that's even more common in like South America and stuff, where they have kids like basically by hand ripping gold out of electronics.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking sad, actually. But I think they don't care.
No, they don't care. Well,
life is cheap there. Like, there's over 1 billion people. You just can't even care.
Life down there is cheap for the people in power here.
Right.
That's kind of where it starts, or where the capital comes from.
Right. Fuck.
But hey, there's plenty of gold in this microphone I'm talking to, so fuck it.
Gotta start smoking computer chips, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Go get the fucking platinum out of the catalytic converters again.
Yeah, I just like, a lot of sci-fi tends to be, I'm not going to say like 100% accurate, but it does tend to provide a pretty decent roadmap for where we head. And a lot of sci-fi always has the Earth essentially divided in half between the US and China.
Yeah.
And I think you're heading towards, you might have Europe there somewhere or not, but
is that a development? Is that something they're like trying to seed in our brain?
Well, it could be. It's an idea
to get us used to.
It could be. I mean, some of it goes back. I mean, yeah, some of it goes back to, I think, authors who were relatively just forward thinking, but it's because it makes sense. Like, the empire is so big. Like, yeah, it's just 1 billion people is really hard for Americans to comprehend.
Yeah.
They cannot comprehend what living in somewhere with that many people is like. Like if you think little New York, New York is so busy. A small city in China, small city has 8 million people.
What are they?
They like the size of New York is like a mid-level, population-wise, is a mid-level city.
There was some weird stat I heard that the world's population at New York City density could fit in the state of Texas.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
We have so much land and underutilized and not. There's 300 some million people in the U.S. total.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even compare.
Yeah.
In terms of
fucking
amount of human life.
What is Wuhan like?
I don't know Wuhan specifically, but it's probably it's millions for sure.
Yeah.
Millions and millions.
Yeah.
Because like cities like it's been a long time since I've known, because I'm pretty sure like Beijing and Guangzhou are well over 30 million a city. And because I remember like even a small city years ago when I was in Changsha was like 8 or 9 million.
Jesus.
It's like a smaller city and it's in the 8 or 9 million people. Jesus. So to even try to comprehend that for an American who's never left LA, like if you're talking about like there's so many people and so much traffic in LA, it's dick shit over there. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's fucking nothing compared to over there.
And then you can go out to the mountains and there's villages every 250 miles with 50 people in it.
Right. Yeah, I had some crazy experiences actually out in some Chinese villages. It was actually really cool. It's kind of cool when you go out to the villages where you see they actually have like houses. And they're older, but they, people in the cities don't have houses. They have apartments and condos, kind of things.
Pods.
Like, yeah, well, kind of. Some of them are nice, assuming they don't collapse or whatever. Like, fucking sketchy, dude.
Or the real estate company doesn't demolish them.
Right. It's not even shit talking. Like I legitimately, people are people everywhere, and I like being there. And I like everyone I meet there was great. I have really good friends to this day there. But like you'd go into a skyscraper and the fucking ground floor is like you see the dirt under. Like it's not even a concrete pad and foundation. You see fucking dirt. I'm like, dude, this shit is gonna tip.
Yeah.
In 50 years, it's not gonna be standing. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You cut corners now. I don't know I don't know the mentality why it's like that. Ooh, shit. I don't even know what to launch into now.
Sorry for breaking up the flow again.
Nah, it's all good. It's so I don't even know where to go. I mean, we ranted a lot actually. I think we fucking
I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
Like the whole conspiracy theory bullshit.
I knew as soon as the Facebook chat, I knew I was going off today.
Yeah.
I was actually super stoked. So I was like, I can do an hour.
Yeah.
Easy. Like if I was alone, I'd do an hour. So I got something I haven't researched a lot. So I don't.
Yeah, those are the best.
I don't know. I could be talking on my ass, but I had this thing where I'm pretty sure recycling is a psyop.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Because
recycling is the most bullshit thing on the planet.
Recycling makes people feel good, so they do it. But it's all plastics are made by the fuel companies, the fucking like petrochemical companies make plastic.
Yep.
And when you recycle, most of it is not actually usable and goes into the environment, and what is they get back to use again. So they make more money off you, but don't. It's like a whole industry set up just to make you feel good, while the fuel companies make more money.
Yeah.
Oil companies make more money. And this is something I came up with that I think microplastics in the environment and in our food are intentional and are a bioweapon.
For sure.
And are designed as a tool they're effectively going to neuter people. Destroy their hormone profiles, their sex drive, their sperm count, their eggs. And it's going to inversely, if like white people don't care about that now or think I'm full of shit, because it inversely affects where you're sending your trash. Asia, South America, India, where these companies have really high densities of poor brown people.
Yeah.
And they're intentionally shipping this garbage off there to neuter the people for population control. I'm pretty convinced that they want to stop them from reproducing.
Yeah.
And it's going to spread here, or is, too.
Yeah. Yeah, the population control thing, I'm totally on board with that.
When the rest of you get to hell, ask Donald Rumsfeld if he consumed aspartame. Because I'm sure he didn't, but he fast-tracked it to the FDA.
Yeah.
Just, these people, they eat raw food. They're like, I don't eat anything with plastic. Like,
fucking Mark Zuckerberg isn't on Facebook.
Right.
Like, he doesn't let his kids use any social media.
Tom from MySpace didn't do that. You know what I mean? He was there with you. He was your boy.
Took one picture and wrote the code.
Right. And then fucked untold Asian women, or supposedly that's how the legend goes.
Yeah, no.
But
fucking recycling such bullshit. It's the same thing with like the corn subsidies, like oh, we can use this for fuel, like we just gotta process it in this way, and it's like, oh well, it costs this much a gallon for the end user and it's only 50 cents cheaper, but they're paying this much in taxes to subsidize it, and all the equipment running on fossil fuels are harvesting all the corn to produce. It's just fucking dumb. And same thing with recycling. Like, you have the people separate or not, just throw everything in one bin, and then you got to pay somebody to separate all that shit.
Right.
And then you got to ship it somewhere to have it processed. And then because
they all drive cars, and cars use fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that too. And then you have to add chemicals to stabilize all those products to make them to something 85% recycled plastic, whatever,
right.
Like you're still having to spend all this money and chemicals and products that are having to be produced overseas and shipped over here in order to produce a fucking Coke bottle or your Tupperware or whatever the fuck, garbage bags. Like, yeah, it's complete. My wife always gives me shit because I don't recycle anything. I just throw it in the trash. I was like, it's more cost effective to just throw this shit away.
Right.
I mean, the environment, there's nothing we can do about it.
I recycle, but I don't have this belief that I'm doing something good for the environment. Right. I know full well what's going on. I don't have a choice.
If it's plastic,
right,
there's no fucking point.
The real fight would be to not have plastics at all.
Yeah.
Like to get away from plastics. And the problem is they keep trying to it's BPA free now. We've released a new plastic. Like the real goal would be to get back to glass and silver.
Yeah.
And metals.
Yes.
Stone.
Yeah.
Actual stone.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like things that you didn't have to chemically enhance to create a product.
Right.
Like take silica, heat it up, mold it. Oh, glass bottle.
Right.
Oh, I got a rock. I can chip it away. I can use the dust for concrete or whatever,
right.
Filler for other thing. Like that's the true way to recycle. I can plant products. I got a dead tomato plant. I'll just go throw it in the backyard, make it into compost.
Right. Recycling is only means two things. It's reusing what you already have for your like a compost pile, or using like a old t-shirt with holes in it, cutting it up and using it for rags. Or like that's recycling. And also eating your own semen is recycling. But other than that, you're not actually recycling.
Yeah.
You're fucking
no.
And eating your own shit is not recycling.
No, right.
That's just, I don't know what that is.
That's
fucking
gross.
corporal fucking philia or whatever. That's disgusting. You need help.
Urine maybe in a pinch.
That and it can save you in a survival situation, but
no, recycling is fucking bullshit. I, it's just an all feel good situation. I don't. Anybody that gives me shit or anybody that ever asks me when they come over is like, "Oh, you got recycling?" Is like, just fucking throw it away.
Being anti-recycling is gonna get you banned from Instagram. Like that's what it is right now.
Thank
If you
God.
post a Facebook status against recycling, they're gonna ban you instantly now. Like that's what's gonna happen after this outage.
Fucking ban me. Oh wait, I haven't been on there. I'm pretty sure you were the one that texted me said, "Hey, your old Facebook account got hacked." I'm pretty sure.
Right.
There's some Chinese dude posting from it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, fine, whatever."
Oh well.
I don't give a shit.
Let it go.
I tried to explain to my wife that information's the new currency.
They're building a profile of you, and it's more complete than people don't care because they don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't want to know. But if they knew the level of information these companies are collecting on them, because it's not just what you give them, they're taking what you give them and getting information from other sources about you.
Yeah.
And how the 24/7 access to your microphone and camera on your phone, you walk past something in the grocery store, your camera goes past it, those apps have access.
Yep.
And they see it, and they'll feed you advertisements for shit you didn't even know you saw.
Yep.
Like, they're always watching you. And they don't care now, but they will when it's turned against them.
Yeah.
When you cannot rent an apartment in New York City because in 2005 you used racial slurs on Xbox Live,
yeah,
you'll care then.
Yeah.
You'll care then. But
so I got a question for you. Is there any analog cell phone signals anymore?
they pretty much cut that out when they cut out 3G.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they exist, but good luck accessing them. I think the only way you access them is when you dial 911, if they even. I think that's the only way you can actually force a phone to switch over. I don't know that there's any like over the air that you can access because the cell phone companies control the towers.
Right.
And they upgraded all the towers.
Right. Because I was listening to a podcast and
Satellite. You could use satellite. It's government, but whatever. Fuck it. Like, it's fun. I love intercepting government pager messages.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I was just trying to think because I was listening to a podcast and they talked about some Indian dude running a kiosk in a mall to where you could make your cell phone cover expose all the electronics inside, way back in the day, like the Nokias. And I was like, maybe that's where I need to go. Like
yeah,
analog fucking. If I can't run my computer through like a VPN network to download podcasts and put them on like an MP3 player, like.
Yeah, there are always things you can do. They're just trying to make it as inconvenient as possible to not be connected 24/7.
Right.
And even so the thing with old analog connections, you're still traceable. They have to triangulate you,
right,
like radio style,
right,
but you're still traceable.
So I want to try and make it as inconvenient to find me.
Get a fucking Chinese Baofeng radio. That's the only way people can just change the frequency every day and tell them to whatever, like squawk or whatever frequency at a certain time.
Yeah. Oh, I thought about that too the other day. I was like, fuck, do I need to like invest in a ham radio, CB radio setup?
Well, I had a fucking there's an antenna sitting right there on the kind of like I fucking listen to the International Space Station on mine, so I do a bunch of nerd shit like that. Or I listen to those old ham radio dorks call in every week and give their fucking like I don't know what they do. They just check in.
Yeah.
Their call number is like, we got a license. Oh, this is KPIG K-Pig out of fucking bumfuck Missouri. Like, all right, cool. Next.
But
I mean, it's cool. They got a hobby and all that, but it's really weird. I don't know. Like,
but maybe that's the skill.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
You need to, like, you do nerdy shit, like you learn how to bounce the radio signals off the moon.
Yeah.
And get them back, and then like, you know, someone in the Philippines responds.
Right.
Like, you can do shit like that. It's pretty easy. It's fun.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, how valuable will that skill be when you can't send an email anymore?
Very.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
very valuable.
Like what I was talking about earlier. Like,
the first thing I did when I became an adult was make sure I had books on electronics, basics, radio, edible plant species in the United States, and book on survival, like filtering drinking water.
Yeah.
If you can't do those things, you're as good as dead. You're a worthless piece of shit. Nothing you've ever done in your life means anything because you can't actually survive without the government feeding you.
Yeah.
Like a fucking baby through its fat mother's gross tit.
Yeah.
Like,
what? When we moved into the house we're in, you know, it's awesome. There's a great view of the park, all this stuff. The river's right there. It's super nice. And my wife's like, I really like this place, but it's a little small. I was like, we're not moving.
you got water?
She's like, what? It's like, the river is right there. I can walk 40 yards, and there's not a great water source, but it's a water source. And if anything, I can dig a well.
Right.
And I know there's like...
Oh, you have water under there for sure.
Yeah. I was like, if anything ever happens, we have water.
It's a fucking wetland, actually, in that flood basin.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's always animals. You're going to have
fucking
to learn...
deer all the time. Geese, deer, ducks, every day.
All the time. Fucking muskrats and skunks. Like, it may not be the chicken from
survival
fucking Hy-Vee that you're used to, but like, it's fucking great.
Well, that's another thing too, is a lot of people think like, oh, if that happens, I'll just move out of the city and kill animals. Like, okay, first off, that's a skill.
Yeah.
You have to do it. And then second, you can't actually just shoot an animal and then eat it. Like when you go to clean it or you shoot, like what if you pierced its liver and that bled into the meat?
Yeah.
You poisoned it.
Yeah.
You will die if you eat that.
Yeah.
Like you might, like.
But I mean,
maybe not the liver. There's certain parts of the animal that can bleed into the meat if you pierce it wrong. And
you need to understand like how to
right, there are toxic parts of the body, of organs that
at certain points, like you can't like eat this right away.
Right, you have to actually clean it and process it properly, and it takes time to learn that. And if you've lived in New York City in a fucking like it's like you're in a hamster cage or something. Like if you wake up in the morning and you can't open your window and see the sunrise, you need to move.
Yeah.
You need to get out of wherever you are because you are fucked.
Yeah.
You are not living like a human is supposed to live. If you cannot see the sun, and I'm not talking from like natural obstruction, like a mountainside and some trees, because that's okay.
Right.
But if it's because a fucking building is in the way and another building and another building, you live somewhere where you're fucked. You're fucked.
You're fucked. Like, or
if you see the sun because you're on the 900th floor, that's also not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sunrise is supposed to be at 7:30. It's 6:59.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the sun already.
Right, over the horizon or something. Like,
Yeah, no. That
doesn't count.
No. It's just astonishing to me, like, how people are so ill prepared, and then the people that even half-ass, like, think about what could go wrong,
right,
and practice skills to be self-sufficient are conspiracy theory, dipshit, fucking prepper retards.
People always talk about the convenience of cities, and I don't see it.
No,
I don't see it. So you can Uber Eats 200 different types of hamburgers. Okay, so what?
Right.
Like, is your life actually enhanced by that, or are you just distracting yourself from reality?
What happens when you have no cell service?
Right. Oh, I can't
I
order
can't-
my burger.
Yeah.
What happens when there's a pandemic and your dumb state closes all the restaurants?
Yeah.
Idiots starve
Yeah.
because they don't know how to eat.
Yeah. Like, I have the luxury of being able to like butcher my own deer every year, and I have electricity and access to like seasonings to like
Right.
make it taste good. But I have the basic knowledge to know like what cuts are what, and like be able to chop it up and how to make it like edible.
Right.
You know, I know what to eat. I know what to avoid.
You know, this isn't like, I don't want to say like, this isn't aimed at like people. If you're in poverty, right? You grew up in a housing project and this is all you've known. You don't have a lot of opportunity. That's a lot different from the person willingly moving to these places because, oh my God, it's going to be like Friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
I make more money here. And then you spend 10 times more. You get nothing.
Yeah.
You get nothing for your money. You get not like
It's just
experience of what?
yeah,
Of what?
a status symbol.
Right.
There's
It's
no
a feeling of superiority over
That
other
fucking
people.
dopamine drip of like, oh yeah, I went to this place and I live here and I have all these material things, and it's like, what skills are you developing?
Right.
You're not
I'm
just
not,
because you move to a spot doesn't mean you're a better person.
every single human doesn't need to be Bear Grylls and an Army Ranger roll into one or whatever.
No.
But you gotta have some. The lights go out. What do you do?
Yeah.
You have to know how. I can build a small generator with a bike. Can you?
Yeah.
Like that's. You won't be able to do that when you need to. You need to know how to do it before it
Yeah.
happens.
Do you understand how a battery works? Could you make a battery?
Right.
You know?
I can with some
like,
salt water.
Yeah, exactly. Like with the right materials, household materials, you can make a
You can
fucking
make
battery. You can find things to make a generator,
Right.
and oh, look at that. I've got power and
Yeah.
you don't. Oh, I've got weapons and you don't.
Well, that was like the one thing too. Kind of like start of the pandemic and riots, and then all of a sudden I had all these like coworkers like, I'm coming to your place when things get crazy. I'm like,
The fuck
fuck
you
no,
are.
you're not. No.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been working on this shit for years,
yeah,
and
like,
all of a sudden
this is
shit
what
hits the
I've
fan.
been waiting for. I was ready.
Not even shit hits the fan. Somebody farts in a fan,
Well-
and you're like, oh, I know a guy.
The hilarious
fuck
thing
you
is
do.
like, I had a stockpile of MREs
Yeah.
and a legitimate Israeli gas mask with two 40mm NATO filters still in them. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can get anywhere and get whatever I need.
Yeah. Exactly.
What are you like?
Yeah.
Um,
like- I mean,
they're all like, I can't get a mask.
Yeah.
And I had months before like stockpiled N95 masks.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I actually keep these anyway because they're valuable for what I do. They were like $2 at the
Yeah.
time. I'm like, fuck, people have no, like, an ounce of preparation is worth a pound of cure, but nobody.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
thanks to the corporate media and our government, like, if you're one of those people that does prepare, you know, oh, the History Channel, preppers gone wild or
Right.
whatever. It's like, oh, look at how
Well-
crazy these people are. It's like, oh,
Here's-
this dude in eastern Wyoming bought 4 missile silos and stocked it full of shit that were decommissioned by the government, and he's got all this shit. Oh, he's set for 3 generations now.
Right. And I'm not even talking about like going crazy and doing shit, but
No.
like having excess supply
Yeah.
and a little bit of know-how is always better than just coasting on like, I can go to the market every day.
Yeah.
Until we stop shipping you food.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then you have nothing to go there for.
Yeah.
You don't grow vegetables in the city, bro. Like, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
My neighbors behind me, I mean, their entire yard is a garden.
Right.
front and back. That's all they do. And they're like, come over, take whatever you want. We've got an entire basement full of canned things, canned goods.
You should.
We can't, like, we don't have enough room. Take what you want. You want help canning it? We'll can it with you. We'll show you how to do it. It's like,
Never,
fuck yeah.
never listen to anyone who parrots the media on any side of an argument.
Yeah.
Because taking politics out of it, you had, as much as you can, you had the CDC telling people not to wear masks.
Yeah.
Even though everywhere else in the world wears masks. Oh, they're not effective. They're not effective. They're not effective. And then they're fucking telling you to double mask.
Yeah.
Same people.
Yeah.
There's not new information. There's not new studies. They're just saying like horse shit. You have a rushed vaccine that was rushed by Trump. You have Biden and Kamala Harris, both on Twitter, verifiable. I will never take a vaccine made by Trump under his administration. And then they do. Because it's the same vaccine.
Yeah.
And they take it. And now they're going to mandate it. Like,
they're telling you to get boosters and...
Right. So, if you believe this, you literally have changed your views 180 degrees in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
You've completely, you bought the hook, line, you bought it hook, line, and sinker. I shouldn't wear a mask. I have to wear a mask everywhere. I will never get a Trump vaccine. I'm getting the jab. What about you? You've literally changed your opinion based on what you've just been told to do without new information, just on the opinion of others. You could say, well, they studied the vaccine and it was there. It was, you were taking it or not. Like, you don't know, you actually don't know anything.
You don't know. Well, that
you were just told.
That I had this thought today when they were.
You listen to who you want to, and you don't listen to who you didn't want. You just pick and chose. You don't actually know anything. Like
you said in the beginning, like, oh, well, don't trust the vaccine, and then Biden got elected, and it's like, okay, well, the vaccine's rolling out, it's super effective, all this stuff, and now it's coming out, the vaccine is waning, you need to get boosters, and it's showing that, like, human antibodies are more effective.
Right.
It's like the people that already got the vaccine is affecting their ability to create natural antibodies. So like
they'll never be
they'll
never be fully resistant. They'll never actually gain a natural immunity to it.
From what I'm seeing, yeah, that's exactly it. So the people that were, I'm not saying anti-vax, but hesitant,
right,
are, as of today, showing that they're going to be better protected than the people, even with boosters, down the road.
I'm not even condemning people who make the choice or not.
No.
But because I mean, you have the crowd that was over a year ago saying punch Nazis in the face is now literally celebrating people's deaths who didn't get the vaccine.
Yeah.
They're literally celebrating death.
Yeah.
You can see this everywhere.
Yeah.
Every comment section, and they're all like the Reddit Herman Cain Award things, and they say they're not celebrating, it's a warning, but it's celebration of death. These people love this. There's people who legitimately love seeing people who said, I don't want the vaccine, die from the virus, and like, haha, they should have got it. And that is Nazi behavior. That's groupthink. Well, they've literally become what they hate.
Play devil's advocate. People that were like against the vaccine, watching people get vaccinated and them dying, doing the same thing.
I suppose they are. I guess I've never seen a concentrated.
No, it's not
place
nearly,
of it.
No,
like,
it's not. I mean,
like I actually saved a Gizmodo article. This Gizmodo is a tech website, right? Yeah. It's an old tech blog, and it was about political comedian Ben Garrison getting contracting COVID. And there was a whole bunch of like, I hope he dies in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like sickening, like, holy shit. Like, Ben Garrison does comics with a right-wing slant, and a lot of them are dumb. Yeah. Like, a lot of them are dumb. They are dumb as fuck. But to wish death on this guy, what did he do? Like, he didn't. you've got Hunter Biden literally committing sex crimes on Facebook Messenger, and you're hoping a cartoonist dies.
Yeah.
Like, there's some priority problems here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's the whole like partisan divide, thing. Like,
Right. You can't look past the divide to actually like.
I got into a little bit of a Twitter spat the other day with some dude. They were talking again about monetary value, and I just said, "Oh, like I said, he linked that Vox article, and then I just said, ha 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 ha, this guy, ha 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 ha," and then he came back with like a paragraph and a half of like, "What do you mean this guy? Blah blah blah. What's your argument? Blah
How
blah."
dare you discredit this? Why didn't you do this?
Yeah.
You can't use ad hominem in a fucking scholastic debate, and you can't.
Well,
like,
he
shut
didn't
up.
even. No, he didn't even do that. He hit me with the ad homs and assumed he's like, "Oh, why don't you just go fucking watch some more Steven Crowder videos and mulled over all this shit and be an anti-vaxxer?" And my response was, "You took the bait. You made an assumption." And he was a Destiny fanboy. I don't know. If
I vaguely know who that is, but not really.
So I hit him. So I said, "Oh, you made an assumption, took the bait. I don't need to argue with you." And Destiny always says, "Good luck to you, buddy. I love you. Have a good night, or be safe, or something like that." So I hit him with that, and he's like, "Are you serious? You're not what?" You're such a piece of shit. You're not even gonna you're not even gonna raise an argument. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. So what I did, I followed him on Twitter, and then he blocked me. It's like
that's the power move. Is just follow him.
Yeah, it's like you're such a dumb shit. Like
I don't even communicate with people online, so I don't know. Like,
no, I don't either normally, but
because like even you brought up Steven Crowder, like I know who that is, but I have never watched one of his videos. I watched like 20 seconds of one and I turned it off. I can't even watch. I don't, from any political viewpoint, I don't like smarmy in your face shit, like cornering people on the street and getting the dumbest reaction and putting it on YouTube. Anyone can do that. Yeah. I can confuse anybody about anything. Yeah. I could run both sides of the fence on that and do it. Like, so I don't follow any of it. I just don't watch it.
So I don't want to say I'm the opposite, but I follow a ton of it. I follow Crowder on YouTube. I follow like Vosh, Destiny, Hassan.
See, I don't know. I don't even know who any of them. I kind of know who those names are. So, I mean, if you follow all sides of it, is one thing too, because then you're just you're watching the same thing being said by both people with like a different slant, but it means nothing because it's
exactly right. That's the whole reason I follow. Is like I follow all the crazy like. I've watched Nick Fuentes and I've listened to his bullshit, Sargon of Akkad. I've watched all the crazy left-wing retard fucking people. Like, they're all fucking dumb. But it's super insightful to, like, listen to all of them and the way they, like, criticize each other. And it's like, oh, this person's kind of right on this, but they're fucking dumb on this. And this person counteracts this person in a good way, but they're also fucking retarded on this point. Like, you guys are all so, like, not saying I'm a smart person, but you guys are so dug into your
inability,
ideologues.
Right. The inability to, the biggest psyop ever committed against the American populace is believing in the paradigm. Yeah. If you vote third party, independent, no matter if it's right or left, if you're libertarian or Green Party, or fucking just radical shit, like even communist, like American Communist Party or whatever. Yeah. People say you're stupid. Republicans and Democrats will both call you stupid, both say you're throwing your vote away, both say you're helping the other side. Yeah. You are doing none of those things. Yeah. Not directly. You are directly casting your vote for who represents your beliefs as much as possible. They are not. They are engaging in like, we have to be the pack. We have to, even if they don't support them. Right. Yeah. that is the biggest trick ever pulled on the American
Yep.
populace, that convincing them their vote doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you have to vote for the lesser of two evils
Yeah.
when there's a multitude of people running.
Yep.
They don't want you to vote for another candidate.
No. And God forbid, I told my dad this the other day. I was like, I don't vote. I think it's amoral. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I think it's wrong to vote. He's like, and he's a, dyed in the wool, American. Do my civic duty, take care of
Right.
shit. I was like, who am I to say this is how you should live?
I don't want a leader. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as a leader.
Yeah.
I have a representative, not a leader.
Yeah.
No one leads me.
Yeah.
I don't need them.
But even with the representative, like your representative goes out and your representative loses, like your representative loses, mine wins.
Right. So
I don't know you.
I have a system to solve this.
Who am I to tell you how to live?
So, the way you solve this, every adult U.S. citizen over 18 years of age gets one political assassination. It can be done at the local or state level. So, if you want to, say, assassinate a president in Minecraft, they have to be from your state. Because this will be at
On
the
your
state
server.
level. Yeah, on your state server. So they have to be on your like Alabama Minecraft server, your
Okay.
Colorado Minecraft server.
Okay.
You get one. All government buildings are not allowed to be protected by military or police.
Fuck yeah.
Like non-military buildings are not allowed to have that presence. So we could go more formal that you have to duel them, but I don't like that. I think you just get one. And you have to do it within 100 yards of like a state legislature or like a state courthouse or something. And you get one, and then when it's done, it's done. But that way, you have a series of separate checks and balances.
Is this like a Highlander situation where you take over?
New election? No, new election. You get a new election.
All right.
I'm for that. Like, you got to reelect. Obviously, that falls apart at the federal level because that's already you have a law of secession. So
Yeah.
you better know that going in. You better have a buddy to get the vice president in Minecraft too. But but like at the state level too, you don't like your governor, you don't like your district representative, you don't like your mayor of your city. Take them out. Like, get a new one. Like,
Do you have to do it personally?
yes,
Are there forms to fill out?
after the fact, but not before.
Okay.
The only problem I had with this whole system is there's gonna be a really sick black market that opens up. Like, say Nestle is like, yo, this guy fucking is for unions. Fuck that. Here's $200,000. Go bust them. And like, but also that's kind of dope too, because like, you can make a lot of money. Like
Okay.
you only get one, so it's not like you can just be like a contract killer forever. Like everybody gets one shot at like 250 a head or something. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No. I was like wondering, but yeah,
you can't
get
just form like
one.
a headhunting corporation because you only get one shot, and they're non-transferable. It's just one by birthright, or naturalization.
Okay. Here,
Comes with
I'm
your
not-
citizenship papers.
I'm not against the idea at all.
Sound like you're hesitant.
I'm hesitant only because are you able to build coalitions or parties to take out oppositions? Or does it have to be
If multiple assailants are involved in the assassination of a political figure,
one?
even if it's just one, like if you have 5 guys who go like,
But say you have a group targeting another
so if
group.
you have like,
Oh no, it wouldn't fucking
Well-
matter because they could do the same thing.
right.
It's equal playing ground.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
that.
the-
Okay,
it's,
no,
it's all
you-
it's a free
yeah.
for all in the fucking
Yeah,
state
no, fuck
legislature.
yeah.
Like, so
what do they call that? There is a political group not argonists. It's like beyond anarchists. So like there's like the
Duelists?
there's like the libertarian anarchists that like live by like the non-aggression principle, but like no state.
Right.
But then there's like the anarchists that live by like, fuck you, I'm gonna take what I want. I forget what they call it.
I have no idea.
It's like on like the, you know, that stupid political square spectrum
Right.
thing. They're like down on the far bottom.
They're
right.
like off the ground.
Yeah.
They're like,
they're like
because that just sounds like brute force chaos.
exactly.
Like nothing
it's like
else.
natural
just
law.
savage.
Like, I want your TV. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill you for your TV. It's mine now.
I gotta say I don't like that, but I get it.
But you're
Mine is specifically politicians need to be in danger. They need to be
so you have
doing
to,
this out of service.
You have
not
to
greed.
believe so hard in the people you represent.
Yes, you have to be for the people, and you have to actually listen to the people.
And if you
You
don't,
can't play a
your
side.
life is on the line.
Yeah,
you're not
gotta
getting
make
paid a bunch of money.
Your job
Yeah.
is to represent the citizenry and make them happy.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Uh,
you're getting iced.
I like this idea.
Yeah, like that's just all there is to it. You should be. Everybody gets one. So even if someone's great and someone's
and
a
why
dick,
wouldn't
like,
the fucking higher ups like this? Because this is a great way of population control.
And the thing is, they used to. Hamilton was in duels. They
Yeah.
duel each other all the time. They killed each other all the time. Lewis. We got to bring that shit back. Just
Okay.
saying, like that's how you make a positive change. Is you cut all of this bullshit comes from their infighting.
Yeah.
There's almost no one, regardless of political affiliation, that doesn't want better schools.
Yep.
Everybody to like eliminate homelessness.
Better infrastructure.
Better education, better infrastructure. There's almost nobody that doesn't want these things.
Right.
And there's no reason you can't have them. It's just your funds being held up making other people rich.
Yeah.
On either side. You're not actually... If you are a Democrat or a Republican, you are a problem. You are actually contributing to a problem. You are not solving anything.
Yeah. There needs to be accountability. If you're willing to...
And that accountability comes in 9mm, 40 cal, 45, 223, 7.62.
Yeah.
I don't care. 50 cal. Do we put limits? Flamethrowers? Fuck it. I don't care.
no.
Napalm, C4, whatever.
Killdozer. Let's go.
Yeah, you just bring that bitch in, but you only get one.
Yeah.
If you do more than one, then it's life sentence. You can't do that.
No. Yeah. If you're...
You got to make this clean. You
If
better
you-
think about it.
If you want to represent a group of people, you need to put your life on the line.
Right. You should.
Yes.
You should be...
It's not...
You should be afraid of upsetting your constituency.
There should be. There's not some special council hearing to investigate.
You stole $1 trillion from the elderly. You get 4 months in prison.
Yeah. No. Bullshit. No. We need you to resign as governor.
Right.
No. You get a fucking bullet to the head.
Oh, you molested this
In
girl?
Minecraft.
Yeah. Her family has the right to execute you if they wish.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Now, this is all happening on Minecraft server with Steve
Yeah.
and the pickaxes and all that. Like, it's not real.
Yeah.
Everything on this podcast is happening in Minecraft.
In
I don't
Minecraft.
mind this. We're actually recording this in a game of Minecraft. This is all in a hypothetical Minecraft server in the United States of blocks.
I've never thought about it that way. I've been like a full-blown like anarchist, and I've struggled with like, people always talk about, well, anarchists will just develop their own government and that's just what it resorts to. But
I feel two ways about that, because I actually do believe in true anarchy. I do believe in it. The principle of men do not need governance.
yeah,
The morality is inherently natural for the most part because it's intrinsic to our survival. We die as a species without some form of care for each other.
yeah,
You literally cannot survive by yourself
right.
forever. So I do see that. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what will happen.
I see the value in like
there is obvious value
order.
in pooling resources.
Yeah.
And having enforced order, but
the people that aspire to
it's always corruptible.
Yeah, control that order. There needs to be like the amount of power you have needs to be equal to the threat of losing that power. I guess.
You have to have however much power you have, there has to be a check and a balance into that being eliminated, taken back from you.
Right.
You can't just have power and then have no repercussions for your actions.
Yeah. I think that's like the huge disconnect.
Right.
From what we are currently living in.
Right. So I think it's totally okay in Minecraft to slaughter politicians.
Fuck.
In Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah. And that was just my system so that we could still live in this society peacefully and actually resolve things. There's a
fucking small city in Mexico that has like no government. Everybody carries guns.
It's called Mexico.
Well,
it's called Mexico in general.
Mexico doesn't even fuck with this little town.
Oh shit!
Like the drug lords or whatever, like they don't even fuck with this town because everybody there holds everybody accountable. It's basically like what you're saying. They have huge parties every weekend, and everybody's carrying a gun. There's no government. Everybody works together. You know,
I suppose if you don't, you die. So
exactly, yeah, you get booted out. I mean, it's completely without like state and federal government. They don't even want to fuck with this town because they're doing just fine. The cartels won't mess with them because everybody's armed, and it's such a tight knit little community.
Right.
It's not like they're hostile to outsiders, but like they're not gonna like, yeah, come on in. Like we got no problem with you.
You see what happens when, not even to bring it back, like to, you see what you will be taken advantage of if you are not prepared.
Yeah.
Whether it's by government, corporations, criminals, or bandits, it doesn't matter. You are just a duck if you don't have the power to actually take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you cannot cut yourself from the grid and still live, you are dependent on another force for survival, then you are not free.
Yeah.
There are certain benefits to our society. I mean, it's convenient to have cell phones and cars, and like it's fun. It's cool to have these things, but I mean, it's just people can't see past their stuff anymore to realize how much of a veil they've actually put over reality.
Yeah.
And how little they can see what's really important in front of them.
Yeah.
Like they're so shielded.
Yeah.
Have a mental breakdown if they don't have electricity for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, even I don't like not having it. Like,
no, well,
more worried about my fridge being out. There's a lot of meat in there.
Yeah.
But like, salt it all, pack it in the ground or something.
But yeah, well, I mean, your power goes out. Your first thought is, fuck, when's it going to come on?
Right.
2 hours, 3 hours later, okay, how can I preserve this shit?
Right.
You know, like a lot of people don't like, oh, I got to go get coolers and ice and I'm going to keep this because eventually
I'll just go to the ice tree.
Yeah. Eventually the power's going to come back on and I can put everything back in my freezer.
There's going to be a time where it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't come back on.
Yeah. Are you capable of taking that meat and preserving it?
Right.
You know,
are you going to be able to survive?
Right. Or do you know where to go in Home Depot to go find gunpowder?
Right.
To make your own bullets.
Right. Like there.
Because there's a lot of gunpowder in Home Depot, believe it or not.
It's good thing that next week we have lined up ammunitions and survivalist expert Michelle Obama.
God damn, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So she'll be there.
I love it.
Hopefully this time, maybe she could still bring that Ouija board too.
She can leave the sounding rods at home.
Yeah,
And
I think I'm good.
I'll bring some $2 bills, so maybe we can.
Sounding, my hearing's perfect. I don't need that.